If you're a new Savage Worlds game master, there's a good chance you've run into some common pitfalls. But don't worry, today we're covering 5 mistakes new game masters make, and more importantly, how to avoid them. Welcome to the Savage Goose. Today, we're diving into some common mistakes new game masters make when running Savage Worlds. Whether you're transitioning from another system or just getting started, these tips will keep your game running fast, furious, and fun, just like Savage Worlds was meant to be. Mistake number 1, changing the target number. One of the first mistakes many game masters make is changing the target number, or the TN. Coming from D&D, it feels natural to set a difficulty check for every roll. If a task is harder, maybe bump it up to a 6 or an 8. If it's easier, lower it to a 3. But in Savage Worlds, that's not how things work. The target number is always 4 for basic checks. Instead of adjusting the target number, use difficulty modifiers. If something is challenging, give it a -2 or a -4. For simpler tasks, leave the target number at 4 and don't apply a penalty. Or even give a +2 if it's particularly easy. These modifiers are easy for players to understand right away. When you call for a notice roll with a -2 penalty, they'll know exactly what they need to roll. This keeps things moving quickly, builds trust, and lets players know immediately if they succeeded or not, enhancing excitement at the table. And don't forget about raises. If a player rolls a success, they get the basic result. But if they get an 8 or higher, they achieve a more impressive outcome. Layering information or adding bonuses for raises brings added dimension without changing the target number. Mistake number 2 is not utilizing subsystems. One of the best parts of Savage Worlds is its collection of subsystems. Dramatic tasks, social conflicts, chases, fear checks, interludes, mass battles, networking, quick encounters, and more. These add a lot of gameplay without feeling disconnected. I use these subsystems often. For example, if my players chase down an enemy, we go into the chase rules. If they're gathering intel, we use networking. If they witness something terrifying, we resolve it with a fear check. And when I want to add some real tension, I bring in dramatic tasks. These are great for high-stakes situations where failure would have big consequence. Picture a bomb defusal during a shootout, or stopping a ritual in the middle of a cultist attack. That's exactly where dramatic tasks shine. They add suspense and drama without bogging down the game. If you're new, I highly recommend reading through these subsystems. They add depth and can make your sessions unforgettable. Mistake number 3 is making new mechanics. Savage Worlds is incredibly versatile, allowing you to play in nearly any setting. But this flexibility can lead new GMs to create their own mechanics. While it's great to get creative, it's usually better to adapt the system's existing mechanics instead. Too often, custom mechanics make the game clunkier, dragging down its intended fast, furious, and fun pace. This isn't to say you can't create custom mechanics. There are plenty of excellent third-party settings with unique rules. But before making something new, see if you can repurpose something in the core rules or keep it simple. That way, you maintain the streamlined feeling that makes Savage Worlds so engaging. You can also check out the existing setting rules to see if they accomplish your goal. Mistake number 4 is not giving out enough Bennies. Bennies are the meta currency in Savage Worlds, and they let players do a ton of things. Reroll trait rolls, reroll damage, draw a new action card, unshake, soak wounds, regain power points, or even influence the story. This may seem like a lot of power, especially compared to something like Inspiration in D&D, but that's intentional. Bennies are a core part of the game. Bennies empower your players to act like protagonists, ensuring their actions have big impacts. Beyond the 3 starting Bennies, you should be awarding more as they roleplay their hindrances or add something to the story. They are a reward for engaging with the game in a meaningful way, and they keep things dynamic. So remember to reward Bennies regularly, especially when players lean into their hindrances. Don't worry about giving players too much power. In Savage Worlds, that's where the magic happens. So mistake number 5 is spending too much time on balance. Let's be clear. There is no true balance in Savage Worlds. It's not designed around perfectly balanced encounters like some other systems. Instead, place enemies that make sense in the story and let players choose how to approach them. Maybe they'll try to sneak, maybe they'll try to fight, or maybe they'll talk their way out. When they're up against groups of extras, consider using the quick encounter subsystem to keep the action flowing. Balance isn't the goal in Savage Worlds. Engaging and meaningful encounters are. Don't stress too much about making things fair. Embrace the narrative and let the players find their way. Those are the 5 of the most common mistakes new Savage Worlds game masters make. If there's one I missed, share in the comments. And if you're a new GM struggling to challenge your players, check out this video here with more tips on keeping your game engaging both in and out of combat. Remember, Savage Worlds is all about fast-paced, cinematic fun. Lean into that, and your players will thank you.